My girlfriend said, "You are just cheap." I replied, "I prefer being debt-free." Then I split the bills, closed our joint account, flew to Bali, and I smiled because she would see my boring life on vacation while she scrambled to pay rent. Original post: I am 32, male. My ex-girlfriend Amelia is 29. We were together just under 3 years when this all went down. No kids, just a small one-bedroom apartment in Seattle, shared rent, and very different ideas about money. I work as a software developer for a mid-sized company. Good salary, boring to talk about at parties. I put money in index funds, drive a paid-off hatchback, and cook at home most nights. Amelia worked in marketing for a fashion startup. Lower base pay, big dreams. She loved nice things, designer bags on payment plans, weekend brunches with $50 tabs, champagne just because. Her ex before me was a guy named Marcus. According to her, he was the definition of luxury. "Marcus took me to Paris on a whim," she said once. "First class. We stayed in a suite with a view of the tower." I asked how he afforded that. "He knew people," she said. "You overthink everything. You should learn to live a little." In reality, I later learned Marcus had a high-limit credit card and no savings. But at the time, all I heard were the stories. Most of our fights started with money. She wanted to lease a new luxury SUV. I wanted to keep my old car and save for a down payment on a home. She wanted to stay at the trendiest hotels. I was fine with clean and safe. "You act like we are poor," she said once. "We are not. You are just cheap." I told her I was not cheap. I just liked not being stressed when bills came due. The final round started with a vacation. She sent me a link to a resort in the Maldives. Over-water bungalows, private pools, it looked like a screensaver. "This is what I want for my birthday," she said. 7 nights, over-water flights and everything. Marcus would have done it. I did the math. Flights, food, resort. It would cost more than my car. "I cannot justify that," I said. "We can go somewhere nice, but not that. Maybe Mexico, maybe Hawaii. Still great, but within reason." She pulled a face. "I am tired of hearing within reason," she said. "Do you know how embarrassing it is when my friends ask about my trips and I say we split Airbnbs?" I stayed calm. "I want a future that is not just pictures," I said. "I am saving for a house, retirement. If we blow 30,000 on a week, that is gone." The argument went in circles. She accused me of having a scarcity mindset. I said I just did not want to live on debt. She said I was not a real man if I could not provide experiences. That night she slept on the couch. I went to bed with my jaw tight and my mind very awake. The next day at lunch, a coworker sent me a link with a short message. "Is this about you?" he asked. It was a TikTok. Amelia's face filled the screen. The caption read, "Pav, your boyfriend makes 6 figures but refuses to take you anywhere nice." She went on a 3-minute rant. She called me boring. She said I was obsessed with my little budget apps. She compared me to Marcus, who knew how to treat a woman. She did not say my name, but people who knew us would know. The video had already passed 200,000 views. Comments piled up. "Girl, run," one said. "He is never going to level up." "6-figure men who act broke are the worst," another said. I watched it twice. My chest hurt. Then everything went quiet inside. I did not comment. I did not text her. I downloaded the video and saved it to a private folder. Then I opened my banking app, looked at my savings and my vacation fund, and opened a new tab. I typed flights to Bali first class into the search bar. Update 1 that night I got home before Amelia. The apartment felt small, her plants on the sill. Her shoes by the door, the echo of her voice in that video in my head. When she came in, she acted normal. "Hey," she said, "what do you want for dinner?" I sat at the table with my laptop closed. "We need to talk," I said. She rolled her eyes. "Is this about the Maldives again?" she asked. "It is about the video," I said. She paused, just for a second, then she moved to the fridge. "Oh my God," she said. "You saw that. It was just content. It is not that serious." "You mocked me in front of hundreds of thousands of people," I said. "You talked about my income, our private conversations. You compared me to your ex. That is serious." She shut the fridge and turned. "They do not even know it is you," she said. "You are being dramatic. This is my job." I talk about relationships. People relate. You did not ask me, I said. You did not warn me. You just turned our fight into entertainment. She crossed her arms. Maybe if you were not so stingy, I would not have much to say, she replied. It is not my fault you are giving Marcus the win. I let the silence sit for a moment. I am not Marcus, I said. I am not going into debt so you can impress strangers, and I am not staying with someone who sees me as content, not a partner. She laughed once. So what? She asked. You are breaking up with me over a TikTok. I am breaking up with you because this video shows who you are, I said. You do not respect me. You do not value how I handle money. You humiliate me to feed an algorithm. I am done. Her face changed then. The bravado slipped. You cannot be serious, she said. We have built a life together. I can delete the video. It is not a big deal. It is already out there, I said. You posted my life without consent. That is the big deal. I stood. I will stay at a hotel for a few nights, I said. When I come back, we can split the furniture and end the lease. She stared at me. You will never find someone who puts up with you like I did, she said. Enjoy your boring little life. I picked up my bag and my laptop. My boring little life will be debt-free, I said. That is enough for me. I left. She did not follow. At the hotel, I laid out my plan. End the lease. Close the joint account we used for bills. Move into a place I could afford alone, and take the trip I wanted on my terms in my time. The first concrete step was boring. I emailed our landlord, gave notice, and asked about the process. The second step was less boring. I opened the airline site again. I moved some travel points and cash from my savings. I booked a first-class ticket to Bali for 3 weeks out. Update 2, the days after the breakup were loud on her end, quiet on mine. Amelia posted more videos, one about men who throw away good women, one about financially abusive partners who hide money. She never used my name, but the story tracks were the same. Mutual friends sent me clips. I thanked them, saved the videos, and told them I was fine. In private, I moved fast. I called the bank and split our joint checking account. The small shared emergency fund got cut down the middle. I moved my half to an account only in my name. I turned off the bill auto pays from that old account and set them from my own. I canceled the extra card with her name on my credit card. I paid off the balance first so she could not accuse me of sticking her with debt. When I went back to the apartment to pick up some clothes and gear, I took photos of everything. The couch I had bought, the TV she had brought, the mattress we had split. I wrote a simple list and emailed it to her. These are the items I will take, I wrote. These are the ones you can keep. Please reply if you disagree. She answered with 3 lines. You are overreacting, she wrote. We can fix this. Stop playing the victim. I ignored that part. I stuck to logistics. We set a day to divide things. A week before my flight, my phone rang with an unknown number. I almost let it go to voicemail, but I picked up. Hey, a male voice said. Is this Liam? This is Marcus. I think we need to talk. Hearing his name out loud was strange. What do you want? I asked. He cleared his throat. I got your number from Amelia, he said. She is in a bad place. She said you overreacted and kicked her out. I wanted your side. I almost hung up. Then I thought of all the times she had used him as a measuring stick. She posted our private fight online and made money off it, I said. She mocked my income and my choices. I ended it. That is my side. He was quiet. Yeah, he said after a moment. That sounds like her. I frowned. I thought you two lived the dream life, I said. Paris on a whim, first class, all that. He snorted. I put Paris on my credit card and I am still paying for it, he said. She left when the minimum payments got tight. Now she is calling me again, says she wants to reconnect with someone who understands luxury. That sounds recent, I said. Last week, he replied. She also asked if I could spot her rent, said you froze her out. I cannot. I am behind on my own. Something clicked then, the story she had sold me and the reality. Thanks for telling me, I said. Good luck. After I hung up, I sat there for a while. Amelia had spent years talking about Marcus like he was rich. The truth was he had dug a hole trying to meet her idea of romantic. Now she wanted us both to pay for it. I opened the airline app again. My trip sat there. Seattle to Tokyo. Tokyo to Denpasar, first class for the long leg, fully paid. I smiled a small thing and started packing. Bali was humid and bright. Rice terraces, scooters, small warungs with cheap, good food. From my seat on the plane, stretched out, I took one photo of my feet on the footrest and the screen showing the route. I sent it to two people, my best friend, and my private Instagram with 20 followers, all people I actually knew. Back home, the time zone difference meant my phone lit up at strange hours. At 3 in the morning Bali time, Amelia's name flashed. "You took a first-class trip," she wrote, "while I am here trying to figure out rent." "You said I was cheap," I replied. "Turns out I was just saving for myself." She sent a wall of messages, how I had betrayed her, how she had made me, how I would never find someone as exciting. I muted the thread. On the beach, I met people who were there on weekends, on gap years, on breakups. I hiked, I read. I watched sunsets that did not care about anyone's bank accounts. When I flew back, jet-lagged but clearer, I did not go to the old apartment. I went to a new one, a studio closer to work. My name alone on the lease, my furniture, my rules. I changed my phone number a week later. The new one went only to family, close friends, and work. Amelia's videos about me slowed. Without me feeding the story, the views dropped. A few comments asked what happened to the cheap boyfriend. She never answered them. By the time my boxes were unpacked, my life was mine again. Update 3, about 2 months after I moved, Amelia found a way around the new number. She sent an email to my work address. The subject line said, "Can we talk like adults?" In the body, she wrote that she missed me. That she had reacted out of hurt, that the Maldive fight had triggered deep wounds. She said the TikTok had been a mistake. She asked if we could meet and talk, preferably somewhere nice. I stared at the screen for a while, then I wrote back. "If we talk at all, it will be at the coffee shop on Pine," I wrote. "Public place, daytime, no filming, 1 hour, that is the only condition." She replied, "Fine." The next Saturday I got there early, ordered a black coffee, sat where I could see the door. She came in 5 minutes late. She wore a plain hoodie and jeans, no camera in sight. She looked tired. There were faint shadows under her eyes. "Hi," she said. "Hey," I replied. She sat. "I did not expect you to agree," she said. "Thank you." "I wanted to hear what you had to say," I said. "Once," she twisted the lid of her cup. "I messed up," she said. "The video, the way I talked about you, I was angry that you did not want the same things I did. I felt small when I saw my friends traveling. I made you the villain. It was not fair." I listened. "I see now that you were trying to build something real," she continued. "You saved while I spent. You thought about the future. I just wanted the next shiny thing." She looked up. "I miss you," she said. "I miss feeling safe. Marcus is a mess. My friends only call when they want to go out. You were the only one who actually had a plan. Maybe we could try again, with better communication, with a balance." I took a sip of coffee. "I believe you when you say you miss the stability," I said. "But I do not believe you have changed enough for us to work." Her face tightened. "How can you say that?" she asked. "You have not seen me in months." "I have seen your videos," I said. "I saw how you talked about me to strangers. That did not come out of nowhere. It came from how you see money and partners. I will not put myself back in that story." She leaned forward. "I deleted those," she said. "I can make a new one saying I was wrong." "This is not about public opinion," I said. "It is about my life. I want someone whose idea of love is not tied to travel tier or hotel level, someone who sees value in a paid-off car and a quiet night." Her eyes got shiny, but her voice stayed level. "So that is it," she said. "You just walk away." "I already did," I said. "This is just me closing the door with words." She let out a breath. "You will regret this when you are old and bored," she said. "Maybe," I said. "But if I am boring with someone who respects me, I am fine with that." I checked the time. "Our hour is up," I said. "I wish you find someone whose values match yours." "It is not me." I stood, tossed my cup, and left. She stayed seated. Out on the street, the air felt normal, not lighter, not heavier, just mine again. Final update: it has been about 6 months since the Bali trip and that last coffee. The breakup is no longer the center of my life. It is just a story I tell sometimes when money and relationships come up. My studio has become home, books on the shelves, a second-hand couch that is more comfortable than it looks, a small desk where I track my budget once a week. Work is steady. I got a small raise. I upped my retirement contributions. One night I realized I had paid off the last bit of my student loan and did not even mark the date. I was just done. 3 months ago, I started seeing someone new. Her name is Lena. She is a nurse. She drives an old sedan with a missing hubcap and a paid-off note. On our third date, she laughed when I showed her my budgeting app. "You and your little charts," she said. "I like it. Means I can trust you not to panic when the car battery dies." We talk about trips too. Not in the fly first class or nothing way, more like if we save this much, we can go to Portugal next year and not put it on a card. That feels better. I still see Amelia and Marcus online sometimes. They post photos together now, dinners at expensive restaurants, posing next to cars they do not own, the same hotel lobby from 3 angles, captions about living your best life. Every so often, a friend sends me one with a comment. "Did you see this?" they ask. I answer the same way. "Looks expensive," I write. "I hope they are happy." I do not dig deeper. Their finances are their problem now. Their values match each other. That is enough. At a family dinner last month, my younger cousin asked me a question. "Why did you not go to the Maldives?" he said. "It looks cool." I thought for a second. "Because I wanted to be able to sleep when I got home," I said, "not lie awake wondering how to pay for it." He nodded slowly. "That makes sense," he said. "My friend bought a gaming PC on a card and now he cannot buy snacks." I smiled. "That is one way to learn," I said. Later that night, I was cleaning my hard drive and found the original link to Amelia's viral video. It was still saved in that private folder. I hovered over it for a moment, then I hit delete. No ceremony, no speech, just a file going to the trash. The starting point of all this was her saying I was cheap, that I lived small, that I did not know how to treat myself. Sitting there in a quiet apartment that I could afford, planning a next trip with money already in the bank and a partner who valued that, I realized something simple. Being careful with money had not kept me from a good life. It had kept me from staying in a bad one. That is the part I keep now.